الله أكبر الله الله أكبر لا إله
من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. I'm SAJ Mahal. Welcome to tonight's edition of SAJ Mahal. Somebody said the most valuable gift you can receive is an honest friend. I am truly blessed, shukr alhamdulillah. I have two of them and they're both here with me this evening. But before I introduce them, tonight's episode of SAJ Mahal is called Roof of the World, Our Journey. It's a story of friendship, courage, generosity and love for humanity. So what and where is the roof of the world? How and why did our heroes get there or end up there? And what inspired them to leave the comfort of their homes here in the UK, leave their families behind, travel thousands of miles, spend many thousands of their own hard-earned cash, travel to an area unknown to them, and help the people, the children, many consider to be helpless. So, on to my guests. Actually, thinking about it, they do have a great deal in common. Both arrived here as immigrant children, left school at the age of 15 with little or no qualifications, but they soon realized the importance of education and entered higher education as mature students. In fact, very mature students. They had the tenacity, the ethic to gain degrees, in fact, master's degrees. Both are now retired, pensioners, mashallah, hajis. And what I love most about them is that they are my two biggest fans. And it's a real pleasure to have them here. But more than anything, what they have in common is a passion for youth and community development, community cohesion, fighting injustice, fighting discrimination, fighting inequality, and always, always representing the underdog. So my first guest left school, as I said, at the age of 15. First job was a factory job. Soon realized he was much better than that, got himself to college, trained as a male nurse, quite a rarity in that period. He was one of the first Asians to do so. He had a wonderful career in the NHS and social services, a career spanning over 35 years, specializing in mental health and retiring as a senior ANP. He's done tons and tons of voluntary work. In fact, throughout my life, I've often wondered how he managed to pack in his daytime job. Community work, councillor in the local council, vice chair of governors at a local school, Roof of the World, various projects in Pakistan. But he has attained legendary status as the founder and first ever manager of the legendary Park United. He is the Honourable, my first guest, Mohammed Khalid Saab. Khalid, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. My next guest actually needs no introduction. He's a really well-known figure in the northwest of England. He has been a guest at least on one occasion in this very programme, and he's a regular contributor. Wise words, intelligent words, always from him. He is the former director of the Racial Equality Unit in Bury. Tragically, his no doubt wonderful career was cut short due to a medical accident which left him wheelchair bound. His story in itself is an inspirational one, how he got himself out as far as China as need be over a 10-year period, seeking out alternative medication and treatments, and managed to get himself out of the wheelchair. And really, he again is tremendous amount of voluntary work over the years, governor at his school, community development and so forth. But he is the inspiration, he is the founding member, chairman of the story we are about to unfold in front of you this evening, Roof of the World. Haroon Zaman Saab, it's a great pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, Sajad Bhai, and to all your viewers.
Welcome. Right, I'm going to start off with you, Bhai Khalid. I'm going to take you back to when you first arrived in this country. Tell me of your earliest memories, please.
My earlier arrival was 1966.
Oh, you helped England win the World Cup?
Yes, I did. Matter of fact, yes, no problem there. The arrival, it was cold.
Yes, yeah.
And it was wet.
Yeah.
And it was the weather from one extreme to another. I've just walked away from summer into a winter.
How old were you then?
I was only about 11.
11? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Rumbai, your earliest memory?
Yes, we came as a family together to Liverpool in a foggy port on the ship, and that was back in 1963.
Mm-hmm. 63?
63,
wow. So
yes.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yes.
Now, you are absolutely fluent in English, Urdu, Punjabi, but I believe you speak Turkish as well. Tell me how that's come about.
Thank you very much. What we have both in common, me and Khalid, is both our parents' fathers were in the army. My father married in Cyprus. Okay. That's why my mother is Turkish.
All right, okay.
Yes.
Wow. And have you still got family in Turkey? Do you visit?
I have cousins living in Cyprus. Yes, okay. I'm in contact with them. Yes.
Very good. Right, Payal, this is a critical moment. When did you two first meet?
It was the first contact. I remember him walking down at the football ground, Benthead.
All right.
Yeah, that's going back in late 60s.
Yes, yeah.
MashaAllah, he was walking down with a bag on his back, sport bag, and with the long hair.
Okay.
And I was standing at the dressing room outside, and he came and asked, and I thought first he was an Englishman.
All right, okay, yeah.
His style, his leather jacket, jeans, big boots, long hair.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, he came and he said, "Is anybody playing football this afternoon?"
All right, okay.
So that's how we came across each other. Right. That was the first point of contact in late 60s.
Okay. Byron, do you remember that moment? But what I want to move the conversation on to is when you two met, got to know each other, but actively started discussing all the things that you were to do in the future, with regard to football, youth development work, community cohesion, and those kind of things.
Yes, I think from football we developed a close recognition and respect for each other.
Yes, yeah.
I knew what the younger team was doing. We were seniors, and I had lots of hopes for the younger team to develop. And we've had that discussion in the previous program. Mm-hmm. How Khalid and even yourself and me came together on this was when I decided to think that beyond my rehabilitation, I need to apply my energies, my skills for the betterment for others, which I have been doing as a profession, as a director for racial equality, as a chairman of disability group and various others, NGOs, etc., that I work for. I wanted to apply that for the most deprived areas in the world, and that happened to be my childhood area of Gilgit and Baltistan.
Right, just hold that there for a second, because I want to find out more about your links with Gilgit and Skurdu and what we know as Roof of the World. I want to find out more about that. But there's a couple of very important announcements that I need to make. First and foremost, I need to apologize for the delay last week in opening the lines. I know quite a few people wanted to ring, were left frustrated because they were unable to call. So I'm going to make amends this evening, and we're going to open the lines right now, so you have plenty of time to have a go. So just to remind you, the phone number to ring is 0161 529 9455. Okay, my colleague is saying we're going to have to break shortly for a Shah Namaz, so we'll open the lines after that then. But the other very important announcement that I will need to make, and in fact I'll do that after the break as well. Let's go back to Brother Khalid by Haroon Sahab. By Haroon, so tell me your links, your family's links to this part of the world that we know as a Roof of the World, and tell me why it's called that. What's so special about this area?
Thank you very much. As I said to you, my father was a head teacher in the highest valley on this earth, which is known as Shigar Valley.
Oh, yeah.
You can Google Skardu, Shigar Valley, K2. My Baji, at the age of 15, was a teacher at that elevation in the world. It was a gift which we gave of education to the local population. And because of that gift of education, I, as a male child of Muhammad Zaman Marhum, the head teacher, got so much love and affection in the community that I felt everybody was my family. That love is still with me in my childhood memories. And I try to repay back the maximum I can. And I don't think I have even given 10 drops back so far in 20 years. That is the level of affection which I have in my memory bank as a child.
Very good.
And the area is around the K2. 9 of the 30 highest peaks in the world are within the 25 kilometers of K2.
Yes.
That's why it is known as the roof of the world area. A lot of people go there for mountaineering. Sadly, there isn't that much recognition within Pakistan or the Pakistani community in this country.
Okay, we will continue on this subject. We are going to break, have a short break for the Isha namaz and Azan first and foremost. So, dear viewers, please stay with us. We will be back shortly.
اگرچہ بت ہے جماعت کی آستینوں میں، اگرچہ بت ہے جماعت کی آستینوں میں، ہمیں ہے حکم اذان لا الہ الا اللہ ہو، لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ۔ ایک کلمہ ذات الہی دا ہویا دسیا مدنی ماہی دا، اینو ہر دم پڑھنا چاہیدا، پڑھو لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ۔ جدوں آقا تیری دید ہووے، انہاں عاشقاں دی عید ہووے، جدوں مراں تے فرید فرید ہووے، جدوں مراں تے فرید فرید ہووے، پڑھو لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ، حق لا الہ الا اللہ، حق हक ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हक ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह इल्लल्लाह हक ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह। अगरचे बुत है जमाअत की आस्तीनों में, अगरचे बुत है जमाअत की आस्तीनों में, हमें है हुक्म में अज़ां ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हो ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हक ला।
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for rejoining us after the Isha Azan break. So when we left the conversation, Brother Haroon Sahib was just telling us about this wonderful, beautiful mountainous region in Pakistan, which has some of the highest peaks in the world and is referred to as roof of the world. So we restart the conversation by Khalid. I want to take you back to your childhood friend. You grew up together, got through a lot. He was a really well-known, respected leader of the community, director of racial equality in Bury, had a fantastic career ahead of him, which was cut short, as I said, by this medical accident. Tell me what you remember about that time.
Well, if I can recall it, the incident, it was early 2000. Brother Haroon just returned from Pakistan at the time, and he had, as known, a slip disc.
Yeah, yeah.
And went into hospital on his own, walked into a hospital.
Yeah.
And next thing we know, this drastically, the operation.
But tell me, you see him, there he is, you went to see him, he's in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
Tell me what your thoughts were and then how you thought maybe there is a way, you know.
I was in total shock.
Yeah.
Total shock, absolutely. I couldn't believe my friend, close friend, who's walking about, playing football, and suddenly he's in a wheelchair bound.
So Payarun, dear viewers, by the way, just to remind you, the lines are now open. Remind you the number, it should be on your screen, 0161 529 9455. And very quickly, the announcement that I was due to make, it's really a polite warning that in the course of our program, in the next 10-15 minutes, we are going to be showing some images of children with disabilities, facial deformities. If you are uncomfortable with such images, then I'd advise you take appropriate action. I'll try and pre-warn again. Hopefully it's not too bad for you, but I just thought I'll make you aware of that. So, Bayarun.
Haji, thank you very much. Brother Khalid put it very nicely. Obviously, it was a shock to me. It took me years to come to accept the fact. But having lost my mobility, I crawled on the floor and I was in wheelchair. I started walking again on Zimmer frame by the encouragement of my wife, my family, my children. Dad, get up and walk again. I remembered my good friendship of Mr. Muhammad Najib Saab, who went on to become the mayor of Burnley. His motivation to excel despite difficulties and the upbringing from my parents made me become determined to get up and go again.
Okay, so but in addition to your motivation, determination to get yourself up again, what I want to try and get to is where and when and how did this idea, there you are in trouble yourself, think about helping others. How did that come about?
I looked at the disability and put a question to myself. What is the worst kind of disability that one lives with? And I came to the conclusion that is the facial disability. Okay. With facial disability, people lose their confidence. People don't look at them. They don't give them the due grace. They don't get education. They don't get skills. They don't have confidence. So I decided to focus on that, to apply the skills I had, office skills, my determination. My body was not with me,
so
but my energy was.
Those were the seeds of the organization you were to set up in due course called Rule for the World. That's where the idea is.
Yeah, that is the idea.
Right,
And
we'll
then
just keep that there because we've already got two people on the line. Who's the first caller, please?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Mohammed Sal from Birmingham. Very quickly, sir, we're very busy. What would you like to say?
Well, you know, I worked in psychiatry, but I want to draw your attention and those of your guests to a very disturbing news from Pakistan that some mental patient near Khanewal was stoned to death for blasphemy. I was very disturbed to hear that news. You know,
that is very tragic indeed, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much for raising awareness for that. Unfortunately, that's beyond our remit to talk about that. Thank you once again, Dr. Saab, for hearing from you. Next caller, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Who's calling, please?
It's Mohammed Aslam Javed from Nelson in Lancashire.
Brother Aslam Javed Saab, thank you very much for calling.
नहीं ना मैं पहली बार इन्हीं ज़्यादा प्रोग्राम शुरू होया मैंने सब थी पहला
in English, please, brother Aslam. Tonight is all English. I know you speak fantastic English, so.
No, मैं वहाँ से बड़ी सोनी उर्दू बोल सकना मैं.
No, we want you to speak English, please.
I will like to.
Right.
Jazakallah. Who's handling the call today?
Just tell us what you would like to say. Don't interview me, please. Tell me what your point is.
Sorry?
Tell me what you would like to say to our viewers.
Yeah, I thought maybe some specific topic today, but just to discuss today.
Right. Thank you very much for calling. Nice to hear from you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. So let's get to the core, the heart of this program.
Yeah.
Where did we get the idea of Roof of the World?
The Roof of the World, I could see Haroon recovering.
Right.
And I could see his fingers tingling away and his feet tingling away.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was wanted to put something back to the community.
Right, okay.
So
because he's always been active.
Yeah, very active, very active.
Yeah.
Very high profile in the community.
That's it.
And suddenly, everything is not there.
Yeah.
And then we had to recreate everything.
Yes.
So, and it was about putting Arun on the right path.
Yes.
And the right path was at his will, not at ours, at his will.
Yes.
And his wishes.
Yes.
And he automatically said Gilgit.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how I came about. And Gilgit, because I wanted to hear.
Did you know much about Gilgit?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
Why Gilgit? What? I know you family links and so forth, but what was the particular? Was there a need you already aware of, or did you think I want to just because of land of my father? Want to do something?
Yes, I had seen a program of cleft lip and palate surgeries in Pakistan. Right. A team from UK had gone. Okay. And sadly, they were making comments on very ill equipment in the surgeries, etc. It hurt me a little bit. I said, look, you go there to work with whatever tools there are. I want to do a better job. I don't want to go there and criticize what is available. Mm-hmm. I want to do whatever I can with whatever tools are available. Yeah. And I turned to Dr. Gurrez Rauf Saab. Yeah. He's a professor of surgeries, a very, very well-known refined plastic surgeon, and I had a meeting with him on recommendation of Dr. Badr Sab, and he gave me an open welcome. Harun, yes, we can do it. I was totally amazed.
Yes, with generosity and positiveness.
Yes, he's such a sweet person, humble, pious, namazi, tablighi, and I quickly went under his shadows. I said, okay, Dr. Saab, please guide us. And we took things from there.
Yeah. If I may add, the warmth and the welcome and the cooperation we've had here and in Pakistan is unbelievable. The response has been great from day one. But it's all down to Brother Harun here. His initiatives, his energy, his thought, his planning, his actions speak themselves.
Fantastic. And of course, you have an important role to play in this. I'm sure Brother will acknowledge that. Because without your encouragement and support, perhaps he may not have had the confidence to go on and do.
Well, my role at the time was just to support Brother Harun to get up there and move forward, and that's
okay. So we've got the idea. We think, I want to do this. You know, you got the motivation. You've identified the kind of people you have. Tell me of the very first. Is it camp you call them? Is it a camp you said? What was the very first project that you did? Or maybe you should perhaps, if we can put up image 1, please, and then Brother Harun can tell us about that. Okay.
I think whilst you're putting up the image 1, I could say that before we actually went to have the free camp, I got the blessings of 2 of my friends, yourself, Sajad Bey, and Khalid Bey. I'm using the Bey in Turkish deliberately. And your support was immensely helpful to me. And the first free camp we organized was in Gilgit, and we worked as a joint venture with an NGO, local NGO.
Yes, right. Okay, right. Just again, the polite warning I mentioned earlier. We're going to put an image of some children who've had some of the treatment these gentlemen have been talking about. So please put that image up now, please. Right. So Brother Harun, Khalid, tell us about these are the couple of children who received or benefited from the camps that you set up. Tell us about this, please.
Yeah, the girl on the left-hand side is the first recipient of cleft lip and palate surgery. It was at Ali Hospital in 2004, I believe. If my memory serves me right, Dr. Gurez Saab always headed the team, medical team, and all these children were brought from Gilgit and Skardu to Rawalpindi, Islamabad, and we attended to them the best we could. And before and after pictures are in front of you, and the miracle of giving them a smiling face was done by Dr. Gurez Rauf Saab and his supportive team, Dr. Badr Samad Saab, and the volunteers who were with me. I couldn't do it alone. I was...
Okay. Yeah. We've got about half a dozen calls, I believe, waiting. So apologies for all those who are having to wait. Please persevere with us. Right, caller, next caller, please keep it brief and succinct. Away you go. Who is it, please?
Assalamu alaikum, Uncle Sajad. This is Mubashir Zaman.
I recognize that voice. Beautiful. Thank you very much for ringing, Mubashir. Mubashir is ringing to us from Qatar. He's works for a very famous international TV station, who I won't name now. But Mubashir, great to hear from you. Please tell us about your experience whilst your father was doing all of this. And I believe you did join him on one occasion on one of these camps.
Absolutely, yes, I did. I just want to take a small moment just to say, you know, I'm really happy to see many episodes from you since the inaugural episode quite a few months ago. So loving the show and wish you all the best with that.
Thank you very much, Mubashir. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I was just a university student at the time, early 20s, and Dad's been doing these. Mr. Zaman had been doing these this kind of work for most of my youth, and it was really inspiring work. So of course I wanted to go along and document it in whatever basic way at that time that I knew. So I took a little SD cam, which was 4x3, really old quality things, and just document everything that happened. And I really didn't know how much of an impact this trip was going to have on me. The things that we experienced in these northern areas of Pakistan, which, let's be honest, don't get the best press.
Was it your first time in the land of your grandfather?
Yes, absolutely. And absolutely breathtaking. Like, I can't describe it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure my father's mentioned it a few times, and you can see from the images as well, it is a stunning place to be. Culture up there is just, it's so welcoming and so noble that it's quite sad that these things are happening in those areas, you know, unattended. So, you know, it was great that we could go up there and bring these people down. There are many stories to share with Mr. Khalid and my father there, but I won't go on for too long. One that does stand out, just to highlight what we were facing, is the vehicle that we used to go to the northern areas, because we did end up driving in the end due to weather circumstances with the planes and everything. So we actually took a Mercedes Sprinter van, which, you know, drivers in Pakistan, they take pride in their vehicles. So it had blacked out windows and, you know, little chrome wheel hubs, all that kind of thing, which in the city looks great.
Yes.
But, you know, we send the driver out with a few people and a couple of the doctors, and they came back at the end of the day empty. And we're wondering, like, why? You know, we've come up there, we're offering these free operations, and why has nobody come? And the simple answer was, you know, the elders of the village would come back and say, look, these kind of cars, blacked out windows, they come to our village all the time. They take our children. We never see them again.
Right. Okay. Well, Bashir, it's really great to hear from you. There's, unfortunately, I would love to hear more from you, and I really appreciate, I know it's very late in Qatar, and you taking the time to ring. Just a final quick point before I ask the next caller to...
Sure. Just, you know, of course, these operations were eventually carried out. They were entirely dependent upon, you know, the funds gathered from friends and family and everyone that could help out. So it just highlights how much it is a collective effort, basically, to change the lives of these children. And, you know, thanks to you for spreading the word tonight, and hopefully we can...
Well, thank you from all of the team, Mubashir, for taking the trouble to go very quickly.
Yeah, can I come in on those blacked up windows? Actually, the vehicles we took to Gilgit, we went street to street. People could not believe the facility we were offering. Okay? They had to be persuaded that, look, your child's image can change. They can be operated upon, free of cost.
I went out there with Mubashir. And the response from that particular village was fantastic. But when it came to giving their children to us, became
for treatment, were they reluctant?
Yeah, very reluctant.
And what's the word?
And you can understand, because they were
suspicious.
They've had experience of this in the past. People had gone in there and they've never seen their children. So that was the one worrying thing. But we had to go back again late in the evening with local people.
Local doctors, local leaders.
And then we were flooded, and we had to keep the clinic open all night. Day and night.
Fantastic.
Eventually, we ended up seeing 500 people in one day.
Wow.
Everybody waited for us.
So Dave, here's the point to make. I mean, here they are. This is a very important point, actually. These gentlemen with so limited resources, and we'll talk a little bit about how they finance all this. I've already mentioned it, it's a lot of it's their own money. But with such limited resources, they are carrying out the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of pounds of work. Have we still got these callers waiting for us? Put somebody through. Who's there? Who's there, please? Thank you very much for waiting, really appreciate it. You are live on Takbeer TV.
Hello.
Hello, who's calling, please?
It's Mohammed Aslam Javed from Nelson.
Oh, welcome back, so you got cut off very quickly, so we're really busy.
I hope you're not deliberately, but I'm a very patient man.
So am I. Please tell us why you're ringing.
It's okay, sir.
Can I add in?
Yeah. Brother Aslam, would you like to say something?
I would like to.
Please go ahead.
Who am I
You
speaking
need to
to with the
switch-
Saj?
Can I add
Right,
in?
brother,
I would like to thank Dr. Hassan Khan Amacha, who used his own home to assess the children.
Yeah.
So half the job was done in Gilgit, particularly in the DHQ in 204.
Yes.
Okay.
He brought the
Sir,
patients
could
home.
we put up image 2 now, please? Dear viewers, warning again, please hope you're not disturbed by these images. If you are, kindly take appropriate action. Right. Brother Arun, tell me about this young man.
This is Muhammad Ashraf.
Yes.
His image was brought to my attention in the last 12 months, and I consulted with our mentor, Dr. Gurrez Rauf Sab, Khwaja Gurrez Rauf Sab, the plastic surgeon, gave us his opinion. Yes, Arun, I think we can do something for this young man.
Yes.
And I resorted to communicating with his counterpart in Pakistan, Dr. Husnain, and he also okayed it, and then we went to meet this young man.
Yes.
Again, he was baffled.
Yes.
These people are going to change my life.
How old was he then when, because his burn phase was from the
he
age
was
of
2. At the age of 2,
No,
he
but
had
how old
boiling
was
water.
he when you met him?
I met him last year. I
For
met
the
him
first
last
time.
year.
This
For
was the
first
last
time.
year?
Yes.
Right, okay.
This is the latest
Okay,
one.
right,
Yes,
okay.
this is the latest one.
Right, just hold that there.
There are earlier
another-
images.
Some more callers waiting.
Yeah.
Aslam Saab?
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, what would you like to say, sir?
A couple of things. First of all, I'm very much appreciating Saj's contribution on the Takbeer team since it started. They talk about different subjects, particularly support, but
That's
I
very
think
kind of you.
on top of that, there are a lot other subjects we should be discussing. how
Well,
we
email
can
me
work
on that
together.
one if you want to
How
talk
can
about
we
different
work
subjects.
together
Can we
with
talk
the
about this
indigenous
evening's subject?
With the indigenous community.
Yeah, okay. Right. Pairun Saab.
Haji. Yes, this is the latest one. Obviously, much earlier ones that we've gone through, developed from cleft lip and palates into burns. Burns is the latest one here. We've done cleft lip and palates. We've done tissue extension balloon surgery under the guidance of Dr. Gurrez Rauf Sab. Absolutely world-class surgeries were done free of cost. We accommodated these children. We financed their treatment, alhamdulillah, the best we can with resources available to us. And we're an NGO that does its best with the limited, as you said. The work is done, is possibly cannot be done with hundreds of thousands of pounds. But it's the goodwill of the hospital and the voluntary,
it seems to
voluntary
me
doctors.
the very key figure, apart from your 2,000, and in addition to all the volunteers back in Pakistan, is Professor Dr. Gurrez.
Volunteer, exactly.
Brother Khalid, please tell me.
He is well-known, well-established, very, very experienced, and very able and noble person.
Yes.
World class.
He's totally committed.
I think, is it Royal Leicester?
Leicester, yes.
There?
Yeah, he was.
And
Yeah,
I think
he's retired now.
Trained at one of the top hospitals in
Yeah.
Pakistan.
Yes,
Dr. Hasnan Sab.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
he's
no,
trained.
which hospital?
Oh,
is it?
PIMS. He's ex-PIMS. Pakistan Institute of Medical.
No, he trained as
He's trained people in a holy hospital.
Holy Hospital.
Holy
no, but
Family.
he himself has been trained in one of the top.
PIMS.
Was it? Right, okay. Right, can we now put up image 3, please? Okay, put image 4 then. Thank you very much. Yes, it's the video. We're going to show you a quick video, hopefully no more than 30 seconds or so. Right, Bayrul, can you talk us through with this young lady?
This is Zahra. She, very unfortunately, in her childhood naivety, touched a transformer at the age of 8. Her hands were both burnt, and she's a double hand amputee.
So she has no arms?
She has
No.
both her arms.
Right, okay.
She had to lose them.
Yeah.
They had become septic. And I have been shadowing her. I have been meeting her on every trip in Pakistan, in Gilgit. And I always said to her father, make sure she gets the education. Make sure her confidence is not broken. Alhamdulillah, you have seen her using her feet for sewing, stitching. She does painting, and she's using mobile. She's doing a fair bit of work, really. Skills developed under our sister organization, Darul Hunar, in Gilgit, the only organization for females where female skills are developed under Tasneem. Beta Tasneem is herself a polio victim. Right. And women are much more in difficulties to develop their skills once they have disability. So Zahra is a shining star. She has excelled using all the skills, and you can see the level at which she's got to.
Okay. So can we put image 5 up then, please? Right.
Yes.
So there, tell us what we're seeing in this picture.
This is Ghulam Abbas Saab, the father of Tasneem Abbas, and with him is Zahra. She came to present me flowers.
Yeah,
and
Dave,
the presentation.
Just in general, what we're seeing here is not so clear on the picture. Is Zahra? Please remember, she doesn't have any hands or arms for that matter. She has got hold of a bunch of flowers with her feet and raise her arm to present them to.
This was my arrival in Gilgit, the best reception I had in last 20 years.
Really? Yes, yes.
It was so heartening, so heartening, so beautiful, so wonderful. Nobody could get better welcome than that.
Fantastic. Next image, image 6, please, if you can bring that up. Right, so this is again, Brother will explain to you, this is Zahra again, actually she's got hold of a knife with her feet and she's cutting a slice of cake for Brother Arun. Brother Arun, tell me about that, how you felt.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. She's actually welcoming, we all were welcoming, wheelchair sports winners. The Gilgit and Baltistan won the wheelchair sports netball in the whole of Pakistan. Yes. Although they didn't have proper wheelchairs,
yes,
still they won the team. Their team won the title.
In which sport, sorry?
In basketball.
Basketball. Did you watch this?
Wheelchair basketball.
I wasn't there.
Wheelchair
And
basketball.
we welcomed them in Darul Hunar.
Yeah.
She's cutting the cake for that.
Wow,
This was also in November when I was there last.
To integrate this kind of field work in there is unbelievable.
Yes.
And the motivation, the commitment that particular group of people have is unbelievable. It's
Actually, this is the ripple effect of the work that Khalid, me, and Roof of the World has done. Disability issues have become so important. People more and more are coming forward. Ishad Kazmi Saab, a blind journalist, he's also vice chairman of Darul Hunar, and he's contributing towards the development of Zahra and many other. They have stitching department, they have painting department, and they also fight for legislative independence, and that has come through. And 202, sorry, 210,
Right.
210, since the work we have done.
The idea is to enable and empower an individual.
That's good.
To manage independent living.
Yes.
Exactly,
Number one.
exactly.
And then communicate and engage with the communities and encourage other disability come forward.
So nicely put together in beautiful words by a professional within that field.
That's right. Yeah.
Brother Khalid Saab. Wonderful words.
We can't talk about other things apart from football. You know?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, I once read or heard that despite its immense beauty, this area of Pakistan has, per population, one of the highest rates of children born with cleft lip.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
And there are many theories. Do you want to just talk a bit about
A
why
lot
that
of it is related to environment.
Yes.
Environment. The mountains, I mean, it's fresh air and everything.
Diet and all those kind of things.
A lot of things. There's a combination of many things.
Yeah.
Many things.
The point I'm trying to get to is that you've got quite a lot of people
Yeah.
to work on there.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
it's-
The disabilities are disproportionate.
Fortunate.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they can only grow one crop in
Yeah.
all their valleys
Right.
because of the weather.
Yeah.
They only get about 7 months, 8 months of good weather. Okay. Secondly, malnutrition. Okay. Third, I don't know.
Undernourished as well, I think. That's
Yes, in poverty, basically.
Yeah.
There is no industry, the biggest industry there is tourism
Yeah.
and dry fruit.
Yes.
And those are the two industries, basically.
And is there something also to be said in terms of marrying within families and cousins and so forth?
Yes,
Is
that's
that a
correct.
contributing
Yeah,
factor
yeah,
as
yeah,
well?
it is.
Well, yes, it may have an effect, but not within the family, but too early in the family. They're so poor, they're having to marry their children at the age of 16, 17. So,
Very early age.
So basically, children are having
Underdeveloped.
babies
Yeah.
in their laps.
Yes,
And that is why we have had to treat, please forgive me for the detail, a child, why has she got a burnt face? Oh, she fell in fire. Why did she fall in fire? Because I had her in the lap.
Yeah.
And we had to treat them. She has had 5, 6, 7 operations
Yes.
because of that. So health and safety is an issue as well.
What you got to remember, we have no schools. We have no health facilities whatsoever. We have no professional in health or social
In
care.
remote areas,
In remote areas. And the resources are very, very limited, and the poverty is sky high.
Roads are basically touching the
Yeah.
main cities, main towns. But the mountains are in every direction, and there is no road, no access,
But
electricity, and
Yeah.
etc.
But if you come across a local person there, he or she is always smiling.
You know, this is. Thank you very much. I mean, I had the pleasure actually of
Yeah.
visiting with my wife and family. In fact, the first lockdown that we had, we arrived back in UK the day before that, and we were visiting that area. And apart from all the beauty that we can talk about, my abiding memory is that you're just walking around and young children will just greet you with Assalamu alaikum. So polite, you know, it's very heart touching because you never ever see that.
Yeah.
And the generosity of people, remarkable. Have we got any more callers waiting? We've got 4 minutes, gentlemen, left, would you believe it? I wanted to just very quickly ask you, obviously you dipping into your own pockets, your family are contributing. How else is this funded? How do you get the money?
Well, we've raised funding in different areas,
Yeah,
individually and collectively.
right, okay.
And
Family.
mainly,
But just to
friends.
emphasise,
Yeah.
is that this is not a registered
Charity. No,
charity.
it isn't.
Tonight is not about
Yeah.
raising funds or asking for donations or contributions.
Yeah.
Nothing
No, no,
whatsoever. Okay, well, we'll quickly move on to that.
You went to Rakaposhi.
Yeah.
Rakaposhi is one of the entrances to Hunza Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful area.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, before I don't have the time quickly, obviously because of the COVID crisis, your actions have been very limited.
Yeah.
But things are opening up. What plans do you have for the future? What is in the pipeline, hopefully?
We'll always continue this work, although we're old. We want to pass the flag on to the next generation. And that is the purpose of this program, really. I would like to thank Dr. Guraiz Rauf, Dr. Hasnan, and all the other teams that worked with us. I'm sure they will continue to guide us with their skills. I want youngsters to come forward. It's a community development, which you have seen right in front of you, sat here between me and Khalid. We've done the same in sports, but now we've done it in Roof of the World. We've taken your we've taken our energies, our skills, etc., applied it to the most needy people in the highest place on this earth, in the Roof of the World area. And thank you very much for listening, and we really appreciate if you will keep on, go and visit Gilgit and Skardu, and you will contribute to the enhancement.
He's a
of that
part-time
area.
travel agent as well. That'll be tourism.
Well, also
only
visit
joking.
Turkey then.
Khalid, final remarks.
The challenges for humanity is greater than ever.
Yeah.
If you really sincerely believe in making the difference in people's lives, then get up and run.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Which is
We have
something you
produced-
have always done all your life.
We have produced Zahra.
Yeah.
You have seen how skilled a person can become even without
Very
having
quickly,
arms.
we had a video, unfortunately we've not been able to show it, but just tell me, because it would have been wonderful. Zara actually using matches with a
Actually, I was waiting to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
She actually lights the heater in winter by using matches which she extracts from the matchbox with her big toes and lights it and
lights it with the mouth.
No, with the foot.
With the foot.
With the foot.
Yes.
With the
With the
foot.
toe.
Yes.
Foot, yeah. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I
mean,
wish that video had been played, but
unfortunately, they were unable to download it. Right, okay, so, I mean, you know, it's a fascinating subject. It's truly remarkable what these two gentlemen have achieved. And of course, there's, you know, many others throughout the world who give up their own time and give money as well to these wonderful causes. So we're truly thankful to them. So I should like to also thank these gentlemen not only for coming tonight, but they've been a big part of my life for all the support and guidance and encouragement they have given me. So in conclusion, thank you again. The lessons we can all learn is despite limited resources, financial or otherwise, with the good intentions and willpower, determination and motivation, there's a tremendous amount that can be achieved as we have done today. Thank you very much, dear viewers, for ringing and watching. We'll see you hopefully, inshallah, next week. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.
الله 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 أكبر لا